Hey guys, welcome into Amanda's Favorites. I share my own personal planning here as well as planner reviews like what we're going to have today. I have a Patreon account where you can get an extra personal monthly video or Zoom call. We rotate months on that. If you'd like to check that out, the link is always down there in the description. I give you weekly videos, usually Tuesdays at noon. So if you are new here, that gives you a little peek into what I do here. Today's review is sponsored by momAgenda. And momAgenda has been one that I have shared with you guys for years. So I'm so happy to be asked to share their launch again. Their launch is happening right now. I have a 15% off code that is ongoing. It's Amanda's Favorites. You can use that code over and over for every single purchase with momAgenda. So when you're checking out, do not forget to use my code Amanda's Favorites for 15% off. And I do have an affiliate link also down there in the description. And that just shows them how many people I bring to them and gives me credit for the sale if you are shopping with them. I would love to hear from anyone who has used momAgenda before or been interested in trying them out. It's a really unique company, and we're going to talk about all that when we get into it. Let me kind of go through what I have here to show you. They don't just make agendas for moms though. So they do have the name momAgenda as the name of their company, and that is how it started. But they have also branched into making my agendas. These are my agendas. So they don't have the extra slots and things for moms and kids. And so their layout still works wonderfully for anyone who just loves their product. So we're going to go through the momAgenda products and what the difference is on the momAgendas versus the momAgendas. We're going to go through all that. They have bound book options, mini options, coiled options, obviously, and a big, I can't remember, it's written inside here. I think this is called like their home office option, which is a really nice option that could be used in several different ways. They also sell many accessories on their site, like tabs for their planners. I stuck in some of their folders here that they sent me. They sell these stick-in folders that work perfectly for these bound books without any folders, or for their coiled ones. I'll show you one in there too. They sent me some of their other accessories that I've never tried before. Their little magnetic bookmark, which is like a vegan leather, very cute, and can mark your page in your planner for you. And it's a little bit thicker than a really thin magnetic bookmark. And so I think that works well for if you really want to be able to easily and quickly turn to that page and find it. I also like to use these type of bookmarks just in books that I'm reading or novels that I'm reading. So they do have those available. They also have adhesive pen holders available. It's with 3M on the back, and they stick into your momAgenda planners. And we will try to stick one of these in and show you how a pen fits in it, but they have all different colors to match your planner. So let's go ahead and stick this green one in together. I thought this would be fun to do together and not already have it in here and done. And I'm going to stick mine down a little bit there. I love how they have these that match the covers. And let's try a really thick pen first. I mean, it has a thick, where you hold it grip, and it's kind of a grippy grip, the Sharpie S Gel. Let's see how that fits. Oh, I love it. I love that their pen holders are big enough. I was hoping they were big enough. Oh, I love it. It holds your thick pens. It's like a vegan leather, and even the grippy pen goes in and out really easily. Good job, momAgenda. These are actually, I have so many problems with different pen holders with the thicker or grippy pens not fitting in them. So well done. And look how nice that looks, matching the exact color on your cover. And this one would match the momAgenda color there on the cover. But it looks like the momAgenda covers are made out of smooth. They have a lot of cover choices in every single one. This one is really smooth. And this, obviously, you can probably see has a texture to it. On each one of theirs, they have the year stamped in there. And you have an option to get your name on it, to have it customized that way. So we're going to go through all of these. We're going to start with the momAgendas. I want to start with these two momAgendas, but first I just want to tell you a little bit about how the company got started and the owner. The owner is Nina, and I would say her last name, but I'm afraid that I'll butcher it and say it wrong. She has 4 kids, and she came up with this planner 17 years ago. The story is all on her website. And then she also has a great blog with lots of blog posts about momAgenda that you can explore. And that's all linked on their website, which will be linked down below. But she has 4 kids. She was running a family business, it said. And so she had like an executive position, and she was trying to juggle her 4 kids' schedules and her schedule and, everything she needed to do. And just no planner was doing that for her. And that is how she developed momAgenda. Let's jump in and look at it. These 2 are exactly the same, except one is on a coil, and you have this flexible cover. This got the back cover bent over too. So you have that frosted cover to protect your beautiful like cardstock cover that has a design on it, whatever cover you pick. Let's go into this, and then I'll show you the bound one kind of side by side with it too. There is a letter up front from Nina, the creator and president of momAgenda, right there up front. And it's a nice little letter. It just tells kind of her story too of how she got started. I like how she gives an example of how she would use this book, how she would use different sections to give you some ideas if you're new to momAgenda. Then you have some family member information up front. You have important phone numbers, and you have more of these pages up front for the momAgenda versus the myAgenda, because some of these are for kids, like kids after school program, kids favorite attractions, those type of things are in here. I kind of call this the old school planner, and I love that. I don't mean that in a negative way at all. I mean it in kind of an endearing way, because to me, it feels kind of like these things were all in planners like when we were growing up, and they're kind of not in a lot of planners now. So if you're someone, or I should say they're not actually, if you're someone who loves to keep track of like repairman, lawyer, accountant, bank, just different of those services you use through the year, lawn service, cleaning service, and you like to have those written in your planner, then there is a space specifically for that. And if you don't need these pages, you don't have to use them. Important phone numbers here where you put like your vehicle make and model and the VIN number and all that important information on your cars, websites and passwords. Then you have your adult medical information in your family. Then you have kids medical information here. Birthdays and anniversaries outlined. There's your 12-month spread for that. And you have what's kind of, what do they call it? The gift that is expected for the number of anniversary that you're on. And they also have zodiac signs and symbols for birthdays and birthstones and flowers. So that's kind of fun to have in there. That's another what I call like old school element that I like. I know you can go look up all that stuff online, but I don't know, it's kind of fun to have it in your planner next to the birthday page. Then they have all their holidays listed here for 2023, 2024, and 2025, looking ahead. Then you have a full year at a glance for 2023 and 2024, because this is an 18-month planner. I hope I'm remembering that right, because some of these were different months. Yes. Most of them are 18 months, and we'll get to the one that's not, which is the big office agenda. So this is your 18-month planner. All your monthly spreads are up front. They also have these great rulers you can purchase. One says this month and one says today. They are gold on there and have the little momAgenda emblem, and they work so well. You can decide how, if you want it to stick up really high, or I put mine here. Yeah, that's where I had it. And I like it just sticking up that teeny bit there. If you look at their monthly layouts, they are all lined. And in the momAgenda, all your lines past the front pages are all pink with this pinkish hue. The rest of your planner is it's a white paper. It is 70 pound. We will get into the pen test in just a little bit. And you have these light blue lines. I kind of love the light blue lines. They remind me of notebook paper in school. And it's just a very clean and fresh look, so you don't have as much gray or black on your page. I personally like it. It feels clean and fresh. You have your month and your year up there. You have your previous month and your next month for people who utilize that, which I know a lot of people do. You have a quote every month up there, and you have your holidays noted at the top of each day. You'll see there your holidays are noted. And you come into the month with light gray days, and it would be the same if you were going out of the month. You have a note section that's lined. That is your monthly layout. Now, here is something else that's unique about their planners. All your months are up front. So it's easy to flip and plan, like especially when you get your kids' orchestra schedule or soccer schedule or different things like that, or flipping through and planning things with your husband. Having all the monthly layouts up front just allows you to be able to flip and plan like doctor appointments and stuff easily in your monthly layouts. And then every week you can just come and look in your monthly layout and transfer appointments and everything into that week. At least that's how I do it. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that because that is different from most planners, but I actually think it can be very functional. So these are all 18-month planners except for that one that I mentioned. They are not big and bulky at all. I will show you again when I pick it up at the end. And yet it gives you all that room to future plan ahead. You get to start this in July of 2023 and go all the way to the end of December 2024. So that lets you hop right in right before your kids are starting school, or I know some places actually start in July. So that's a good month. And you can get all their calendar dates and be able to fill them all in and not just have that 12-month planner, but have it go through 18 months, which I also think is really helpful for moms with a busy schedule. Let's look at the weekly layout. I'll tell you kind of all my ideas on using the weekly layout. Let's look first at the pen test though. This planner is only $36, which also I forgot to mention. I think they have really great prices for what they offer, like amazing prices. $36 for this planner. This is a 7x9 page, and you can still use my 15% off code Amandasfavorites. On top of that, here is my pen test. Let's look at the back of this page up close. You will see the 70-pound paper, which equates to 105 GSM, handles the pen really well. Absolutely no bleed through. You can barely even see that side of the page is written on, so handles it really well. The feel of the paper, it has a tiny bit of tooth, so it's not an extra smooth or near slick paper at all. It has a tiny bit of tooth to it, but not a lot of tooth. You wouldn't feel it and be like, oh, that's a toothy paper, but you also wouldn't say, oh, that's a super smooth paper. So I think it's a good paper that grips the pen well. I tried dark ERIN CONDREN dual tip markers, dark Papermate flares, dark mild liners, all on there, and it handled it all really well. Here are some of my ideas for using this planner. I would use the My Week section here. I would list like my top 3 for the week that must get done. And then I would just list, other to-dos for the week. But this can be for noting your really important weekly reminders or weekly to-dos in this section. They also tell you what week number you're on for the year. I like that there because that space wouldn't be utilized, and I like to know that. Then you have a kids label here, enough room for 4 kids schedules, or you can use it for many other different things. We'll get into that. And you have a dinner section down here at the bottom. So if you have 4 kids, or if you have only 3, you could add your husband in here or your dog in here if you need to keep like their meds on schedule or something. Or if you have only 1, 2, or 3 kids or left at home kids too, you could put like your workout in one of these. What housework do you want to complete for that day? So you can look across the week and see, oh, what workouts am I doing every day? Or what housework, do I want to get done this week, and what day can I plug it into? Computer work for every day, and you could divide this out that way. And that way you're looking, across it and seeing for the week where you're going to spend your time on the different categories. So that's another way. These don't have to be kids. They could be categories of your life. They could also be if you're working in social media, kind of like, what are you going to post on Instagram? Do you have anything to do that day on YouTube? Do you have anything to put up on TikTok or Facebook? So they could divide up your social media accounts by day also. So there's a lot of different ways. And if you don't want it to say kids, you can buy the momAgenda one. And that's what we are going to get into that one in just a little bit. But I do want to show you right now. On the momAgenda, there is no kids label, but it is a cream colored paper with a dark gray, I call it dark gray lines. So it looks very different. We will lay these side by side in just a bit. So they do take out all the kids stuff and just leave you with 4 sections, and they take out the kids stuff up front, but it does have the cream paper. So I think you can just choose whichever paper color appeals to you more. And then it doesn't really matter that it says kids really tiny right there. If this paper color appealed to you more, you could still use it. So we will get into those. I would use this for like my appointments of the day up here and probably highlight them. And then just my to-do list here. And then for your kids, you can if you have a teenager that has a job, you can have their work schedule in here. Your other kids, you can just have their schedule of where they might be going or doing something that day. And if you have nothing in that day for that kid, then you can look across and know, they don't need to be anywhere. Or you might write something in for the kid, like they need to remember their history. You need to be on them to remember like their history project that's due the next day. Or you need to remember to study their spelling words with them, on Wednesday night or whatever. So you might write in those reminders there for yourself and for them. So however you want to utilize that, but it lets you be able to look across for just one kid and see what is going on in their life. And I can see how with multiple kids, that would be very helpful. Your week is typical. I forgot to point this out, which is important. They have a Monday start on your monthly layout. Some people love that. Some people don't. I want to make sure to point that out. It's a Monday start. So your Saturday and Sunday are together. Your weekends are together there when you see them and you group them. And it's your typical Monday start on your weekly layout. Let's look at a blank weekly layout just so you can see how it looks without my writing all over it. It is a clean slate. And of course, you could use stickers in it. I've seen people do that. Sticker it all up, or you can be just a functional planner and have your highlighters and your pen or your pencil or your friction pen to erase and go after it that way. You have rounded corners in all their books, which I really love. And when you come to the end of your planner, let's look at what's at the end here. You have a lot of notes pages in this one. You go to the end and you actually have some planning ahead pages here. You have you end here in December of 2024. I know it's hard to think this far ahead because my mind was kind of blown as I was thinking about it for the video. And since it ends on December of 2024, then you have a look ahead at all of 2025 with all the holidays, okay? Already noted on here, your weekends are light gray. So it's easy to look and plan vacations or even dental appointments or write in days off school, There's notes at the bottom of each month. And so you have those 3 2-page spreads that cover the entire year for looking ahead to 2025. Then at the end, this is really interesting. You have a lot of notes pages. I forgot to check on the website if they listed how many. There is a huge batch here. If they have it on the website, I will put it here on the screen. They are all lined and you go back into kind of the pinkish hue are we going into purple hue? No, now we're in the purple hue. I kind of love this, how it's very unique and different. The front pages were the pink hue and then, the blue lines all throughout and white. And these are like a really light purple hue with purple lines in there. It almost looked like pink to me in the lights that I have here, but no, it's definitely purple hued paper with the purple lines and lots of note pages back there for you. I stuck one of their pockets on here. You do have to purchase these separately, but they have them for purchase on their website and they stick in so easily just pulling off the strips. And that way, if you want to add a pocket in the front or the back or both to your planner, let's take a look at this is so portable, you guys, and so lightweight for 18 months right here. And then you have the same thing in this momAgenda right here. I'm just going to give you a flip and kind of show you the ribbon bookmarkers. Here are your end pages. They are pink lined. And then you have your nameplate page and you go into the letter from Nina and then the how to use this book. So everything is exactly the same. You go through all your pink information pages up front. And then you go into your monthly layouts, exactly the same as the other book. But you have 2 satin pink ribbons in your bound book here. The pricing is a little bit different. The bound book is a little bit more at $46, and it is 7x9 pages, also 1 inch thick. And let's do our ribbon test. Oh, and there is a difference at the back. You don't have as many note pages, I don't think. Maybe you do. No, it feels like I think it feels about the same. You might have a few less. I will check that on the website if it's listed, and I will put that here on the screen. But if you'll look, I also want to make sure you see, look how flat this planner lays. They've done a really good job on their bound planners. No matter where you turn, just give it that little massage, that you have to do in a planner, and then it really lays flat well for you. And if you look there, it is it. And it feels like such a portable book. It feels so good in hand, you guys. It really does. It's that vegan leather. I love forest green. So this color is stunning. And it feels so good and portable in hand. If you have to throw this in a backpack or a purse or, like a tote bag, so easy to throw this in all year. And I think it would hold up wonderfully. The ribbon bookmarks on my ribbon test that we always do not go all the way to the edge. So you have to use them like this. You have to pull them open like that. But you can have one on your month and one on your week. I think it's really nice they gave you two in that book. The same reason why you might want to pick up these snap and bookmarks, because you can mark your this month and your today, and they work really well and are functional and help you find your spot really quickly. Let's look at the momAgenda. Before we look at the differences between the momAgenda and the myAgenda, I just want to lay the pages next to each other so you can really get a look at the page color. So let's just take a look at the page color for a second. I want you to get a really up close. I know many people say like cream paper is easier on your eyes if you have eye strain. It also kind of gives you that feel of like an old school journal, like Leuchtturm or something like that. So if you love cream paper for that look and feel, but it is the same paper. It is the same paper weight in both of them, but I do have to say that I feel like this paper, because, you know, obviously it's a different paper because it's a different color. This one feels smoother. So if you like something with a little tooth to it, then you would definitely want to go with this one. The paper in the myAgenda feels smoother, and yeah, that is the difference. I wouldn't call it slick or an extra smooth paper at all. It's just, it feels smoother to me. I did a pen test on this cream colored paper in this big home office agenda. So we will look at that pen test when we get to this one. This is the only one I believe called momAgenda that still has the cream colored paper that the myAgendas have. So I don't want to confuse you. I'm really trying to I'm trying to outline it for you guys. So I hope I haven't confused you. And in your myAgendas, instead of pink ribbons, you have cream ribbons to go with the cream paper. And these are longer. They're definitely longer. So you can pull them to the edge. So I'm not sure if that's the case in all myAgendas or if just each one is cut a little bit different. I don't know, but these are definitely longer and go all the way to the edge. So let's look at the myAgenda next and just go through some of the differences besides the paper color. I stuck a pocket in here also. I just wanted you to see what it would look like if you had a pink pocket in here. I do not know if they sell cream colored pockets. I will check and pop that on the screen here too. You have your same nameplate page. You have a letter from Nina, but it's different because it's for myAgenda and not momAgenda. And going through with ideas of how to use this is a little bit different because it's myAgenda and not momAgenda. You have family members' information, important phone numbers. You have a couple pages of that, like accountants, snow removal, recycling pickup, all the same stuff in the other book. Websites and passwords, medical information, but it's not labeled adult because you're not going to have the kids pages. Then no kids pages of medical information, that's taken out. You have the same birthdays and anniversaries page with those listed out there, exactly the same. And then the same holidays for 2023, 2024, and 2025. Your year at a glance for 2023 and 2024. And then you go into your monthly layouts, the exact same as momAgenda, but just in a different colored paper. So I just want you to see that paper there again. I think that they look very different to me when they're next to each other. So I think you're definitely going to have a preference. People will have a preference of paper of which one they like better. Then you go all through your months and it's the same weekly layout, except for there is no kids label. Other than that, you guys, it is exactly the same. It just doesn't say kids there. It says dinner, it says my week, it has the week number. Everything else is the same. Your previous month, your next month, a quote there. And to note that every day of the week has the same amount of room too. And if there is a holiday or date of note, like the first day of winter, it's noted at the top of your day there. At the end, you have no paper color change throughout your myAgendas. You just have, you have the same stuff. Your 2025 pre-planning, and then you have your notes pages all back here once again. And then you have the end of your myAgenda. And they do have this ribbon in here, which I believe is for being able to stick extra papers in there and kind of like they can fold over and the ribbon can hold them. So that is your myAgenda, your momAgenda right there. You can even see the paper color difference there. You have, let me show you this next to it. Your tiny little myAgenda. This is called your mini. So this one, I have the size written in here. You have all the same pages, but it is a 5x7. Instead of a 7x9 page, it's a 5x7. It's $42, and it's your MyAgenda Mini. So this is what the mini page looks like. Let's do that next to the big MyAgenda. So you can see there really is a huge page size difference there. So this would be if you just have, if you're someone who writes smaller, first of all, I feel like it could work for you. And if you just don't have that much to write in, each day, and you need a little agenda that fits in your purse or your bag and is so easy to carry around, and, pre-plan all your months in advance. It feels so good in hand, and it's just little and tiny. It's your mini. So that is your MyAgenda Mini compared to your MyAgenda in size there. And now let's take a look at this big momAgenda desk agenda. This is the one that is not 18 months. The momAgenda desk agenda here goes from January through December of 2024. You can once again get your name on it. This one is a gold coil. That's the same as your other momAgenda coil bound. This is a really pretty sage green color. It is a hardcover. Once again, rounded corners on everything, but you have a nice accordion pocket here up front that could hold a lot, you guys. You have your nameplate page, you have the introduction letter from Nina, an example page of how to use this book, and then you have a tab called Essentials, and that is all your phone number information up front here. So all the same information up front that is in your MyAgenda. You do have, though, because this is the momAgenda, you do have the kids information in here still. So this is like your big desk, like home central planner for someone if you are staying at a desk all day, or if you want something that maybe is like your home center planner that stays in the kitchen open for everybody to see. That could also be what this is used for. You have your 2024 at a glance, 2025 at a glance. You have your huge monthly layouts, all have those light gray lines in there, and every holiday. It is starting in December of 2023. They do give you an extra month in here. Your months here, this is different. Your months are placed where your tab is. So all their other planners, your months are all up front. This one, your months are placed where your monthly tab is. So that is different. Let's look at the pen test on here, and then we'll look at how big this page is compared to the other ones. I just marked my page with that sticky note. Here are all my pens on here. This one is only $44, the home office edition, and it is 9x11 pages. It is actually 14 months because even though it is only supposed to be January through December of 2024, they give you December of 2023, and then they give you January of 2025. Even the weeks, not just the months. So they give you an extra month up front and an extra month at the end to make it 14 months, which I just think is really nice when you're transitioning planners. Let's take a look at the pen test here on the 70-pound cream paper. There's what the pens look like on the cream paper. I do feel like you can see the show through a little bit more on the cream paper. I don't know like the science behind that in paper, but there must be a reason that it does show through a little bit more on the cream paper, but no bleed through at all whatsoever. Let's look at these really big weekly spaces to see what you could do with them. Once again, this could be like your homebound kitchen central planner if you wanted it to be for everyone to look at. So you could have everyone's schedules on here mapped out, big to-dos for the family, and everyone could be able to see what's going on and where is so-and-so and what time are they working that day, and be able to see it all. But the layout is exactly the same as your other planners. It is just a lot bigger, you guys. Let's lay like the MyAgenda 7x9 page here next to this massive 8x11? 9x11 page right there. And you can see you have bigger line spacing because it is a much, much bigger page. So if you're someone who likes to write bigger also, then this might be the one you like. This type of planner, I always feel like you might not need a daily planner in because the page is so big, it leaves you enough room for a lot for a daily list right there. And then to keep track of different categories of your life or your kids in your life, or your husband's schedule or your dog's medication. Like I said, so many uses for those 4 different slots down there at the bottom. It could even be like, if you're tracking wellness, it could be like, how you slept the night before and how many steps you got that day. What did you do for movement that day? And did you do your book reading or scripture reading or whatever your focus on your wellness is for that day? So those 4 boxes could be like for your wellness, and this could be your to-do list. There's just a lot of ways that you could use them. And so when you go throughout, when you end a month, you just go straight into your next month with your tabbed page there. The tabbed page is not any thicker than the rest of your pages, but your tabs are very well laminated and thick, and I don't think you're going to have any problems with them at all. When you get to the end of this planner, you have a notes tab, and you do have a good big note section back here with a good amount of pages. I will look up and put that on the screen if they have the number there. They're huge because they are the 9x11 pages, and they are all the cream paper and the gray lines throughout. In this one, this is the only one in the momAgenda line that I know of that is made with the cream paper. The rest of the cream is only in the myAgenda line, and the rest of the momAgenda is the white paper with the blue lines. I would love to hear from you if you've used momAgenda, because I would love to hear how you use the 4 different categories. I'd love to hear how it's worked for you in your life. And it's just a really affordable yet beautifully crafted planner. It feels more expensive to me than the prices are, and you can still use my 15% off code on every single one. Thank you for being with me today, guys. I know there are so many places you could be and that you take time out to watch my reviews, and trust me, I am just really grateful. Have a good week and take care of yourselves so you can take care of others, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.